So, Mother Shama Gauri Devi Dasi, a great soul, she is asking everybody to bless her son named Atharva Das. He's smiling right now. So, you all please chant one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra so that I don't know what elevation, he's already elevated, but I don't know what she's asking. But Mother is always asking more than what the child has or something. So, that's good. He has a loving mother. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, hold on. I didn't actually hook it up, so it's not, you're not going to see it yet. Krishna, Govinda. Hare Krishna, Mother Sama Gauri Devi Dasi, please accept my obeisances and wish to Srila Prabhupada. You can join with the Zoom and see your son is so attentively sitting and learning. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
What is the name of the program?
His name is Dravida.
Oh no, where are you? Say.
Why I cannot spot this? I feel, how come I cannot spot now? It was working before to spot this.
Oh, from the cameras.
I don't even see that.
I think your camera is off. Let's see. Is that? Yeah.
But still, I want to spot that instead of the.
So go to right over.
Oh, on this one.
Yeah. Where was it? Spotlight.
Spotlight. Okay. Okay. Who is supposed to sing? Atharva Prabhu. Please sing. You can start. You have the microphone. Lokanath. Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha
Gopi Jana Bala Girivardhana
Yashodanandana Brajasthana Yashodanandana
Yashodanandana
Yashodanandana Brajasthana
Yashodanandana Bhaja
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjagira Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjagira Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Gaur Pramanande Hari Hari Bol. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhangsa Paribrajagacharya Astatarashata Sri Sima Sila Bhai Charna Ravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. ISKCON BBT founder Acharya, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhangsa Paribrajagacharya Astatarashata Sri Sima Sila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्रील रूप गोस्वामी पाद की जय, भक्ति रसामृत सिंधु ग्रंथ की जय, भक्ति शास्त्री भक्त वृंद की जय, समवेत वैष्णव वृंद की जय, गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So we're going to recite those 4 verses, and then Mother Nischala, that's her new name. No, it's middle. Going to present today's session, and then we are going to have a question answer discussion. So we'll not discuss in the beginning, after finishing up. 17, 18, that's tomorrow. You're going very fast. That's good, but one day late. So let us chant those 4 verses. Anna vilasita sunnam gena karmadi anapritam anukullena krishnanu shilanam bhaktiruttamam. What is the definition of pure bhakti or uttama bhakti or pure love? Someone? No, first you have to say what it is. The pure bhakti is first class devotional service is.
Can I start with that?
Okay, you can do that extra.
Devoid of material desire, furtive action, knowledge gain, serving Krishna constantly, favorably, expression of thoughts.
Good, good, very good. Then next verse. Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tatparatena nirmalam rishikena sevanam bhakti ruchyate. Then what's the third? Or someone would like to translate this? Sarvopadi vinirmuktam, what does that mean? That's also pure bhakti, which is no one? Yes, Atharva Prabhu. Use the microphone.
It's Rishikena. So with purified senses, one must serve the master of the senses. Rishikesha Sevana.
Rishikesha is God. Rishikena by our senses.
Yeah. Rishikena is the purified sense.
No, by senses.
By senses.
Purified after you engage. Very good. Okay, good. Third one. Atha Sri Krishna Namadi na bhavet grajamindriye sevan mukhi jipado shayameva spurati adha. What does that mean? How do you chant? How Lord descend? Either one, either question. When you chant, you have to memorize this. This is a very nice. It sets your mood, how to approach God. He will reveal himself when? Seva unmukhi jibba. When you want to serve, you are eager to serve with your service attitude, begin with the tongue. Then he will reveal from spiritual world to the soul and permitted all over the body and come to the tongue. Very good. Next, how do you live in this world? Yukta Vairagya. Anasaktasya vishayan jataraham upajunjata nirbandha Krishna sambandhe juktam vairagya uchyate. What does that means? Everybody heard it?
I didn't hear it.
Where is the microphone? Okay, say it again.
One is not a
No, microphone.
So when one is not attached to anything, but at the same time accepts anything to Krishna,
Very good.
rightly situated above. So
Very good. Very good. This is very nice. Okay. Nana Shastra Vichara Naika Nipuna Sadharma Samstapaka Lokanam Hitakarina Tribhuvane Manav Sarana Karo Radha Krishna Padara Binda Bhajana Nande Namataliko Bande Rupa Sanatana Raghujugo Sri Jiva Gopalako Bande Rupa Sanatana Raghujugo Sri Jiva Gopalaka Goswami Path ki jai. So the earlier session we ended Mother Ramma Devi presented very nicely what is Raga Nuga Bhakti. Sadhan Bhakti. So we are this book is divided into 4 sections. And one section that we are focusing called Purva Vibhag or Eastern waves. And it has also 4 parts. One was Samanna Bhakti, the definition of Bhakti, which is introduction, preface. And then characteristics of Bhakti was the first chapter. And then 2 to 16 is all Sadhan Bhakti. Sadhan Bhakti, how many types of Sadhan Bhakti? 2 types. One is Vaidhi Sadhan Bhakti, one is Raganuga Sadhan Bhakti. So she was demonstrating. So Vaidhi Sadhan Bhakti was from 2nd chapter all the way to 14. 15 and 16 is about Raganuga Bhakti. Raganuga Bhakti means spontaneous love. It is not like for a momentum, I love God. No, it is a stage. And there are symptoms. These are real. These are not to be artificially imitated or anything. I mean, you will get caught if you artificially try. It won't work. So that's where we left, and we're going to go from there. Is that okay, Mother? Go ahead. Oh, of course you do. Did you say your name is Aha or Anna? No, that's different. I gave you permission. Hold on. Where is... Oh, there you are.
non-negotiable.
So I'm just going to Can you hear me? Okay. Is
Yes.
it better? So the devotees online, are you able to hear me?
Someone online?
I see them.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you. Okay, Hare Krishna. So we discussed 2 types of devotional service divisions in chapter 15 and 16. So the first one is Raganuga Bhakti, or actually the sensual attractions, Kamarupa, that's discussed in chapter 15. And then the relationship, that's the Sambandha Rupa, that's discussed in chapter 16. And then we also looked briefly about what exactly is the sensual attraction or the kama rupa. The primary goal here is to satisfy the Lord's senses. And we also looked at what are some of the examples which fall under like kama rupa or kama prayer with the just example. And we looked at the moral of the puja story. So I'm just repeating here. So the lesson that we need to learn from this puja story is that although she was very lamentable situation, Krishna still saw a potential in her service and manifested. So even that should be our hope too. Krishna sees potential and beauty in every living being, and we should keep continuing our devotional service. Yeah. So here is a conversation about the Raganuga Bhakti by Srila Prabhupada in 1972 Sydney. So he says that the another part of the sadhana bhakti is called Raganuga. Raganuga refers to the point at which, by following the regulative principles, one becomes little more attached to Krishna and executes devotional service out of natural love. For example, a person engaged in devotional service may be ordered to rise early in the morning and offer arti, which is the form which is a form of deity worship. In the beginning, by the order of the spiritual master, one rises early in the morning and offers aratrika, but then he develops real attachment. When he gets this attachment, he automatically tries to decorate the deity and prepares different kinds of dresses and thinks of different plans to execute his devotional service. Although it is within the category of practice, this offering of loving service is content. So the practice of devotional service, sadhana bhakti, is divided into two parts. One is regulated and the other one is spontaneous. But yeah, we have to make this as an habit. Whatever we're doing as a service to Krishna, are we doing it spontaneously or are we doing it just because like someone asked us to do? So that's something that check. So this document I got it from Prabhu. Talks the differences between yeah, so in the mundane karma, so the priority here is to intense thirst to satisfy one's own senses, and actually that's what do before we break as well. Whereas in the transcendence of karma, intense thirst is to satisfy Krishna's senses. An example given here for the mundane karma is like an island, and the transcendental karma is the gopis that also we just discussed. And what drives in mundane karma is the selfish thoughts and selfish desire to obtain the activities that we have. Whereas in the transcendental karma, the selfless desire is the motivation for spiritualist. And the mundane karma, we see that in our material world. But then the transcendental karma, we cannot relate that because we see that in gopis activities, but we don't have the replica of it in material world, so it is very hard for us to relate that how that looks like. But it's observed in spiritual world. So actually, this is from my experience talking to some of these devotees. Whenever I talk to them, I ask them about how is your practice and what happens if you go on a trip to to do different pleasure activities. So benefit the practice, like visiting families in different cities and so on. So most of them, they're honest, and that's the thing I like about the devotees. They are very honest, and they tell that it's very hard to imagine Krishna when they're in such kind of case, so on. But what I understood reading different books about this topic of it, that once you start developing that kind of spontaneous divinity, even when you're in a busy city, everything looks, you can relate the activities on how you can use a certain technology or certain resources that you see around for the Krishna consciousness. That also applies to our morning's discussion about how to use the smartphone within consciousness, or is it just the expensive gadget? But that takes quite a bit of self-discipline and practice. Okay, so
Interesting picture.
sorry. Oh. Yeah, that's Las Vegas.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So Ragatika relationship, first in 281 इयं तु व्रज देवीषु सुप्रसिद्ध विराजते असंक्रीम विशेष यं प्रपतम् अपि मधुरिं तत्तत्क्रीडा निदानवत् काम इति उच्यते. So the translation is, this is very famous Kamarupa Bhakti appears with the brilliance and they have a particular type of a prema that has special sweetness. This is called Kama by the wise because it is the cause of various amorous actions. But in our mundane world, that's why Srila Goswami, he mentions that we have to be very careful when we make comments on such kind of attractive or the gopi relationship in general, that in a mundane world, the lust attitude of the gopis does not refer to any sort of the sex indulgence. And Srila Goswami explains that this lusty desire refers to devotees' particular attitude of association with Krishna. So we need to be really careful. So I prefer that Rangovin Prabhu comment on this, so I'm not eligible to
Go ahead.
on this particular Kamarupa Bhakti Krishna and gopis. But yeah, so all the texts, if you look at the BhaktiRasamrta Sindhu for this particular chapter, you'll see that this text, just reading the translations, they clearly establish this the Ragatika Bhakti is a perfect devotional attachment found in the residence of Vrindavan, and the Ragamika Sadhana Bhakti is a practice of devotees who aspire to develop their devotional mode. So that is what I think, or at least I need to start practicing more on changing my whole ego or the mood that I have for this body versus the devotional body, devotional, how do I transit that? That's practice for all of you. Then the second, the 16th chapter that we have is a spontaneous devotion. On the same topic, but here we look at the sambandha, like the relationships that we discussed. So here we primarily look at the Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, whether we have to imitate them or whether we have to follow the footsteps, and how to what we can learn from the residents of God. So in this chapter, the verse 12288 says, Atra sambandha rupa govinde Trivade Abhimanita Aropalaka Sanataya Rishina Vallavamata Yadiyasya Jnana Sunya Vad Ekisam Rage Pradhanatvam. So the translation. Next, the Sambandha Rupa Ragatmika Bhakti will be discussed. That is, the Sambandha Rupa Ragatmika Bhakti is that bhakti inspired by the direct absorption, aspiring from the identifying oneself as a parent, friend, or a servant of God. This refers to the bhakti of the cowherd people, indicated by the term Sambandha Krishna in verse 275 as an example of Sambandha. This is because these other relationships in Braja also have a predominance of intense affection, that's the raga, caused by the lack of awareness of Krishna as the supreme personality of God. So what makes us eligible for this raga and bhakti? Actually, we did discuss this in the morning, so I want to open this to the floor. So what makes us eligible to practice this raga and bhakti? Actually, you have
Really
the
one.
picture. Yeah, you have the clue on the picture already.
Huh?
You say free from lust, anger, and greed.
That's a negative, but what is the positive in it?
Passion.
Development.
No, that's Vaidhi.
Development.
Spontaneous love.
Greed.
Or
Going
greed
to-
for Krishna.
Born to follow the footsteps of the
Just a greed. A good example, I tell you, 1984. Well, some of you maybe were a baby. You know. 1984, Princess Diana married to Charles, Prince Charles. And I was in, of course, I had no idea. I was in Mayapur. So Bhavananda Maharaj was talking in the newspaper front page. It was a big deal. So what I never forgot that the reporter interviewed different people on the street, what they think of Princess Diana. And one homeless guy, he says, oh, she's so beautiful. I'll do anything to marry her any moment, any day. It's like, wow, homeless guy, he's thinking he wants to marry her. So materially maybe, but that greed, did he think that he's poor or homeless? No, this is required. Greed has no real substantial backup, your qualification or others. It is just a tremendous, uninterrupted, you just felt strong that you will marry. That is a good greed. This is pure greed. There's no question. Okay.
So the eligibility for this Raganuga Bhakti, as we discussed, is one is to have already pure in the sense that giving sorts of material contamination. That's it. Unearth and everything. This is a stage where, I mean, it's a kind of a post-unearth and everything stage. And then the second thing is, as Pralanand Prabhu mentioned, so we try to attain the same level of perfection of Vrindavan or the for instance. And what is that we should not do, or we should not think that we're eligible for the Raganga Bhakti is not by following the regulatory principles very strictly, but then just like doing tasks just for the purpose of doing it, but not really following or having any discipline. So that doesn't work, right? Yeah, so we get here only when we are free from all sorts of material contaminations. Again, so what we should avoid. So the first deviation or the avoid is the Siddha Pranali, because actually, who wants to read from page 127, second paragraph, second line?
The Siddha Pranali process is followed by a class of men who are not very authorized and who have manufactured their own way of devotional service. They imagine that they have become associates of the Lord simply by thinking of themselves like that. This external behavior is not at all according to the regulative principles. This so-called Siddha Pranali process is followed by the Prakrita Sahajiyas, Suroset of so-called Vaishnavas. In the opinion of Rupa Goswami, such activities are simply disturbance to the standard way of devotional service.
So, yeah, we should not do activities just for the sake of doing it and not really sequence. So we just discussed that it's the external behavior that we need to avoid. Then what could be the internal behavior situation? What could be the internal behavior?
Tinadapi suniche na torori bosahisana amani namana.
What is it? So the Siddha Pranali is an external behavior that we must avoid. So what could be an internal behavior in order to get to the raga and bhakti?
To follow the bona fide Guru Parampara teaching and instructions of so, follow the young and niyam, young man is prohibited 16. This is the
There is actually verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Nija Avishta Krishna Presta Pacheto Lagya Nirantar Krishna Vaja Antarmana Hoya. You follow a particular associate of Krishna in Vrindavan. You follow a particular, there's actually 2-3 verses, Krishna remind. Seva sadhaka rupena siddha rupena chatrahit tadbhava lakshana karja brajaluka anusarata. A particular Brajavasi who is pleasing Krishna in a particular way, rasa, it's attracted to your heart. When you literally attracted by that devotees pleasing Krishna in a particular mood and you want to serve Krishna under that Brajavasi's under guidance, that's required. Externally, you are following all the rules and regulations, but internally you're developing a strong attachment to follow that Brajavasi who is pleasing Krishna. This is what I understand.
is it the Manjaris?
But then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, I have to add to that, Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur says, Trinadapi Sunichena is our Siddha Pranali. Because Trinadapi Sunichena is most powerful. Even though we don't say directly this is what Siddha Pranali, but that's how he explained. That you become lower than who? Grass. Why lower than the grass? Grass is already low. You know, if a big truck ran over your body, and run over my body, I'll be finished, cracked. But run over the grass, nothing happens. They are lower, but they tolerate, tough. And then another fault in the grass. That's a good part. The bad part is when you step on the grass and you walk out, they come back. But lower than the grass means you stay. Where Guru wants you to stay, you stay there. You don't come back. So that's very difficult. Out of 4, just 1 first. And then more tolerance than a tree. Why tree is tolerance? They don't complain in the hot sun. I complain. I need water, I need shade. They don't complain. They give the fruits, flower to the people who is resting under the tree, and that woodcutter also cut the tree. But never complain that don't cut me, don't hurt me. Of course, it's very difficult for practically, but our attitude should be like this. Of course, we have to be alert, not that people just abuse. This is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's. But in practical sense, Raganuga means you have to follow the Brajavasi or Raganika, like Dwarkavasi or Brajavasi. Their mood, a particular mood of a particular sentiment that each person has pleasing Krishna. If you are attracted by that, then you follow. Okay.
And the other deviation or
Now,
the-
question is why you put that picture? Why it is deviation picture or what?
No, so it's not a deviation picture. No. We're talking about deviations, but then also, these disqualify for the Raganuga Bhakti, but the picture is representing that how you can be like more humble even with brothers. In this case, it's from Ramayana with Bharata. Let's say that one. I just take your shoes and then it's you who's ruling and not me. So it's the picture is representing how you can, although you have the access to enjoy the things, but still stay calm and stay humble and surrender to God. So other deviation could be that only following Raja or the Raja Loka and ignoring all the that's of Krishna. That doesn't work either. So in general, the mentioned way or the process of this is start with a Vaidhi Bhakti and then eventually go until the Raga. Process of Vaidhi Bhakti, you can choose any types of devotional process that we discussed. And I see that there it is cut off. It's the verse reference is from Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.3.
Well, in this case, did Prabhupada put like that? Did he mean like, I know somewhere he said, actually a few places he said, there are some people who are interested only Krishna's Ras Leela and other, they are not interested in the creation, also Krishna's Leela. They are not interested. I can see that Prabhupada put it there. You got it from there?
No, I didn't find it that, I didn't find the exact reference of when Prabhupada said that, but when I'm doing the summary study from different that I found, that could be one of the hurdles.
Because it should be okay if somebody is interested only to worship Krishna and Dwarka, he can just focus about it. He doesn't have to study anything else. He can focus and then just meditate on it. It's also there. But Prabhupada made a logic that Sahajiyas, they are interested only Ras Leela, but they're not interested how Krishna created the whole creation and everything. They're never interested on this. They find no connection or something.
Yeah.
And that is bad.
Right, yeah. What I read is also that picking only one Leela and then negating all the rest of the Leelas.
Correct.
It doesn't work.
Correct.
Yeah. So, yeah, even this slide I got it from Prabhu. So, Prabhu, you want to go over this description?
No, you can.
Okay. Okay. So the devotional service of the Raganuga devotee is guided only by his intense craving to attain the service of the particular resident of Vrindavan and spiritual action. And these Raganuga devotees, they don't have to follow the regulative principles of devotional service very strictly. The reason why? Because they already came over that stage of any sort of material contamination. So they are already purified, right? We discussed that before, right? Yeah, so they don't necessarily strictly have to follow any of the regulated principles. But they don't have the spontaneous nature of loving Krishna. For them, loving Krishna comes so spontaneously. And then also that they become attracted to the eternal things like Nanda and Yashoda. And they try to follow this footsteps spontaneously. So a Raganuga devotee is above the regulative principles, which means he is not dependent on the scriptural injunction for his inspiration to serve and surrender. And the inspiration comes from his own spontaneous affection. And which means this does not, that the Raganuga Bhakti does not follow the regulative principles. It means that their motivation is love, the attachment, that is the raga, and not just the or the vice obligation. So now, why are we talking about this the spontaneous affection? Like in the second point, if you see that the inspiration comes from his own spontaneous affection. When do we feel affectionated to someone? It's a general question. When do we feel affectionate to someone? Yeah. When we have a relationship, right? So in this one, am I audible now? No, I'm asking, when do we feel, so why are we even talking about this second line here? Inspiration comes from his own spontaneous affection. These are the Raganuga devotees, right? So for them, the inspiration comes from his own spontaneous affection. So why are we even talking about it?
So relationship.
Yeah. So yes, I mean, I just asked like, when do we feel affectionate to someone? We feel affectionate to someone only when we have relationship, right? So, and then in this particular chapter of this spontaneous devotion, we are talking about these relationships, right? The sambandharu. So all the Vrindavan people from Vrindavan, they have like their own relationship with Krishna. It's a one-on-one, like very personalized and special only for themselves. So because they have that particular relationship with Krishna that's already developed, which means they don't necessarily have to like follow a set of rules or there is any set of practices. They can be just more natural. So like when we go on to like our parents or to our siblings, we don't follow protocol. Similarly, even for Krishna and the residents of Vrindavan, just comes so natural. And that's the relationship that they carry. So in order to achieve this qualification, and we already discussed, so the basic qualification for this Raganida Bhakti is first to have that strong desire or eagerness. Here it's called a lobha to achieve the service of a particular Ragatmika devotee. Right? The intense affection or that mood that they are in. And it cannot awaken until the devotee achieves the steadiness at the completion of the anartha nivritti. If we don't get rid of this material contamination, there is no way we can see there is still that layer of cloud that's kind of hindering the sunshine. So we cannot see the pure love to the God. And after having thoroughly heard the Bhagavatam and being free from all unwanted desires. So this unwanted desires, it's applicable at multiple levels and it's also very personalized. Some desires that I may have may not be applicable to the other devotee or other fans devotee, right? So this is something that we need to kind of check within ourselves. So what Srila Prabhupada says about this is, we must always remember, however, that such eagerness to follow in the footsteps of these Brajavasis is not possible unless one is free from the material contamination. In following the regulative principles of devotional service, there is a stage called Anartha Nivritti, which is the disappearance of all material contamination. Yeah, so this is just a table to show the two categories of the Raga and Bhakti, that Kaman or Sambandhatma or the Kamarupa or Sambandharupa. It means both means the same. So the Kamarupa is a devotional practice that strives for the mood of the Kamarupa Ragatmikas, that is the gopis of Vrindavan or the queens of God. Whereas the Sambandhanuga means the relationship, right? So the relationship practice is a devotional practice that strives for the mood of the Sambandha Rupa Ragatmikas. That is the devotee of Vrindavan is either a parental relationship or servitorship or the friendship. So in this chapter, it is further discussed about this conjugal love, the Kamarupa. So, what do you want to read from page 127, first paragraph? I mean, the conjugal love, first paragraph.
Conjugal and conjugal love. Devotional service following in the footsteps of the gopis of Vrindavan or the queens of Dwarika is called devotional service in conjugal. This devotional service in conjugal love can be divided in categories. One is indirect conjugal love, the other direct. In both of these categories, one has to follow a particular gopis who is engaged in such service in love. To be directly attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead in conjugal love is technically called Keli. This Keli performance needs to directly join with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are other devotees who do not wish direct contact with the Supreme Person, but relish the conjugal loving affairs of the Lord with devotees. Such devotees enjoy simply by hearing of the activities of the Lord.
So the devotional service, by following the footsteps of the gopis or the Dwarika's queens, that relationship is called the conjugal love. And the direct relationship is, as the name says, is the direct relationships with the Lord, and the other one, the indirect, is just by hearing those Lord's activities from the maids of Gopi. So one thing that whenever we think of gopis or this kind of a relationship, personal relationship, it's not just only for women; it's for everybody. Yeah, at that point, it's gender. There is no significance of gender anymore, so it's for everyone. So the Padma Purana quotes that the rishis of the Dandakaranya wanted to become gopis, right? And then of course then later there is also further division of wives are the Dwarka wives, and if you have like a kind of a lover relationship, then they get promoted to Golo Vrindavan, so on. And in this chapter, the verse that we have is Tatahi Shruyate Sastre Kaschit Purupuri Stita Nanda Sunar Adhishtanam Tatra Putratya Bhajan Naradasyopadeshena Siddho Buddhvrida Padhai. The translation, it is said in the scriptures that some old carpenter living in Hastinapura, on the instructions of Narada, worshipped a deity form of Krishna as his son and attained the perfection of having Krishna as his son. So now, why did this carpenter follow whatever Narada Muni suggested? Why? Because he had intense desire to have Krishna as his son. So whatever our desire is, then we follow the footsteps, right? So there is a very fine line whether, let's say, Pramban Prabhu suggests something to me. So there is a fine line based on my desire. I follow what he said for my own spiritual growth, or I'll just put my false ego and say, oh, well, no, I have my own whatever I have, and I just do my thing. Thinking that eventually I'm going to get the same results as following the spiritual footsteps.
So you won't
So
follow?
the strong desire, sorry?
So you won't follow?
No, I will follow. I will follow. So yeah, our strong desire matters the most. So in order to attain this Ganga Bhakti, always have to remember two things, right? The first one is purification of natural contamination. The second is intense desire. So what kind of desire that we want to have, and how we want to, what is our practice to accomplish that desire. So because of in this case, the old man from Hastinapura, he had an intense desire to have Krishna as his son only to be parents. Now, even in this case, we have to be very, very careful. So if I want to become a mother of Krishna, now it's my choice. Am I going to just do my way, or am I following the footsteps of Mother Yashoda? Right? So what is the best practice? So it is recommended that I go in the footsteps of Mother Yashoda if I have that intense desire of having Krishna as my son, right? So even this old man did the same. He followed the footsteps of Narayana. Okay, so yeah, in page 129, the last paragraph under the parenthood and friendship, it says, in the development of becoming either a father or a friend of the Lord, there are two varieties. And one method is one may try to become the father of the Lord directly, and the other is that one may follow Nanda Maharaj and cherish the idea of being Krishna's father. Out of these two, the attempt to directly become the father of Krishna is not recommended. Such a development can be polluted with the Mayavad or impersonal philosophy. So, yeah. And then I'll just pause here for a discussion. So, here, although it says that it is polluted with the Mayavad philosophy, and why do you all think so? What do you all think? It's open for discussion.
So in the text it writes about how, because the Mayavadis, they see themselves as Krishna. And so if one starts to identify themselves like Raj, for example, then your parental level becomes contaminated with the Mayavad philosophy. And the Mayavad philosophical way of thinking is offensive, and no offender can enter into to associate with Krishna.
So that's actually, I was also thinking, I want you to do that. Right? This it looks like the maturity of bhakti is not that, but to follow Nanda Maharaj in this case, or follow a particular. It's a big change. Right? My thought was that it's a big change. So instead of becoming somebody to Krishna, but to become somebody who is already related to him. Because like,
In reality, is it possible to become someone? In reality, is it possible to become someone?
direct relation.
No, even if I want to become Nanda Maharaj, can I become Nanda Maharaj? No. No, it is not possible. That's why Mahabharata, both ways they are condemned. Nanda Maharaj is Nanda Maharaj, I am who I am. We are eternally individual. It's never going to become blended or merged. This idea is completely condemned. You can say you can adapt the mood of a person. You can follow somebody's mood. This is what advised, that you can follow the sentiment of someone, but you don't become. But Prabhupada, I was talking to someone this morning today. Prabhupada asked Tamal Krishna Maharaj, where is Birabhadra? You can look at it in Vedabase. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj says, Birabhadra is outside Prabhupada, he is playing. He thinks he is Arjuna. Prabhupada said, he's not a Mayavadi. Why is thinking like this? Call him. So then they called. So what are you doing? He said, oh, I'm trying to meditate like I'm in a war and I'm shooting arrow like Arjuna. Prabhupada said, you don't shoot arrow like Arjuna. You want to follow Arjuna, then you become his assistant. That is good. But you cannot become somebody. It is not possible. It's a false imitation. It will never fructify. Oh, I told you.
Yesterday we were discussing about the example of Shiva that so people don't follow him, they try to imitate him. This example.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Except they don't drink poison, they just drink the ganja or smoke ganja.
I have a comment here. You mentioned. I was brought up in Pushtiman Vaishnava. Like mother always used to cook food for Krishna, and then she offers it to Mother Yashoda. But that's how I inculcated her attitude that I should also do the same. The sense that we prepare food, then we offer it to Mother Yashoda to take. So that's not my way. That's what my thinking.
So how do we understand then, because those sages, they wanted to, so
No, they don't want to become gopi, they want to follow the mood of gopi. The verse goes like this, Srutigan, Gopigan, this is in Madhya chapter 9, I think 133, something like. Mahaprabhu explained this to Venkata Bhatta. Srutigan means this, Veda personified. And the Munigan means Dandakaranya forest. Srutigan, Gopiganer Onugata Hoya. Onugata Hoya means they are following the mood of gopis. And where is, maybe Mother Kaylee, you can help, or somewhere with the baby. So they are following the Srutichari, Munichari. Munichari and Srutichari, they are following the mood of Gopigan. Then what will happen? That internally, when they develop the mood of gopis, and that's not enough. They have to go to a place where they are given a privilege to take birth from the gopis in the village. So they have to be externally, they are born from a gopi mother to act like a gopi, and internally they are completely gopi. Both has to be there. As Mother Ramya Devi is making these 2 points. One is negative, positive, that we have to demolish all the anarthas that we have, and positive, that greed to enter there in that mood. So both has to be similarly in this. A good example is Lord Shiva. He became a gopi. But why didn't he stay as a gopi inside with the Raslila? Because he has a male mood. He was attracted, but he is still a male person inside. Outside, he took the form of a gopi. Another opposite, you can say, Lakshmi Devi already female, but inside mood is not like gopi. I am a wife of Krishna. It's not going to work in Raslila. You are like paramour, that you gave your completely to this Nanda Maharaj's son, but you feel you married to somebody else. So it's like a hiding some kind of paramour. So we see many examples why our Acharya gives this very wonderful conclusion. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay, so I think that's what I was misunderstanding is the people that we're talking about, they think that within this lifetime, take on this role.
We see, is the Mother Shama, Atharva Prabhu's mother is here? She sent me just something. Join. Is she there? How do you see? She said she joined. Can you take down and go back? Or how do we do it? So she can see her son is there. She'll be
You
happy.
can go to the participate and take a look. Participate.
Mother Krishna Manju, do you see Mother Shamagori there?
So for the evolution, Rupa, for friendship, we always see that Subala is the best example because he is naturally a best friend of Krishna, and they don't have to call
There
him.
is no Shama Gauri.
Okay, she's there. Just for 1 second, you can just take it down. She's there?
She is not there.
Oh, she's not there.
No.
She just sent me, she said, join Prabhuji. Maybe.
Sushilpa Madhavan to everyone.
No. Her name is Shema Gauri. She's
No.
famous.
You can also watch participate and then click over there. Then all whoever participate there, you can take a look.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, go ahead.
So coming back to the Sambandha Rupa for parenthood and friendship, so one example that we always hear is Subala being the best friend of Krishna because it's very natural, it's friendship, and he doesn't have to follow any regulation. So it just comes very naturally to him. And for coming to the parents, as we just discussed, so there are 2 ways of thinking or like doing a devotional service as a parent. One is the indirect way. Indirect way is following the footsteps of either the Mother Yashoda or Nand Maharaj. And the direct way is to think that I'm the parent of Krishna, which means there is a quite a bit of chance that it would lead to a Mayavad philosophy that we just read in the book. And for the indirect way of being a parent of Krishna, the example that we see is from the Skanda Purana, the old man from Hastinapura, who got Krishna as his son after following the instructions from Narada. Yeah. So this also, it's just not our intense desire, but it is also the Krishna's mercy, without which we cannot build that relationship, right? So any relationship, it has to be also a reciprocation from the other party. Like in our material life, we cannot just blindly have one way, it has to be like both ways. It's a two-way relationship. The same also applies even in the Raga and Bhakti as well. For us to graduate from Vaidhi Bhakti to Raganuga Bhakti, it's also Krishna's reciprocation that we see along the way.
Another point we can mention. Okay, let me ask. So what are the two things we need to develop the Raganuga Bhakti from Vaidhi to Raganuga? She mentioned twice. Who remembers? Two things. Negative, positive.
One is intense desire
For particular
particular
mood of a particular devotee. Okay. And negative?
another thing.
Yeah, dissolve all the unwanted things. Very good. Now another 10th canto, 13th chapter, I remember reading many years back, where Srila Prabhupada mentioned that to become Krishna's mother or father, you have to wait 4,320,000,000 years. You have to wait 4,320,000,000 years. But if you really want to act in such a way that end of this life you can enter as a parent, then you follow the mood of an assistant to Mother Yashoda. Then end of this life, by the power of Mahaprabhu's chanting Hare Krishna, you can actually go to a planet where you serve Krishna as a motherly. That's the loophole, or not loophole, advantage we should take. One life. Or you can wait for 4,320,000,000 years. One day of Brahman. One life is 311 trillion. Do you know what is trillion? You do? I have no idea what
Brilliant.
that's the word, but I don't know what is trillion.
So how can you develop that? What kind of we can develop?
We can develop Mother Yashoda in 13th chapter. I can find that purport. Prabhupada said one should meditate if you want to follow Mother Yashoda. She wears saffron clothes. Oh, I should have asked that question. Do you like saffron clothes? Would you like to wear saffron clothes? Mother Yashoda wears saffron sari. She wears all kinds of sari. But you know, Krishna wears all kinds of sari, but we still say, Chandana charchita nila kalebara pita vasana vanamali. Pita vasana means yellow. So, does Krishna not wear any other clothes? Yeah, he wears, but pita is like or yellow is like a prominent. Srimati Radharani wears all colors, but her blue dress, Nila Vasana Gauri, so that's very famous. She because her shyness takes the form of a blue sari. So like this. So every particular also, but we should take advantage of Mahaprabhu's movement that in one life we can go. Where is the guarantee? How are you going to stay for whole day of Brahma, 4,320,000,000? For me, it's like one life we are tumbling to focus.
Tired of one life.
Yeah.
That's when Narada Muni asked,
Yeah, the cobbler, about the cobbler.
Cobbler.
Yeah, cobbler. Story for the cobbler. They say, are you going to take too long? They say, all of a sudden, happy that
Intensity.
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 Yeah. So the Lord immediately came.
But Lord did not count. His intensity made the Lord to come.
So if you have this kind of also
Intensity.
intensity,
Yeah.
it might come very
Intensity is not easy to get. It's easy to say. You know, Mukunda Datta. You remember Mukunda Datta and Lord Chaitanya? He said, after million years, I'll give him darshan. And Mukunda Datta is so happy that at least guarantee after million years, I'll get it. But then what happened? Immediately, because his intensity.
Yeah, so the devotees who are in a high level of this Raganuga Bhakti, they are also worshipped. Also, there is this. So in the last page, 130, last paragraph. So the statement from Narayana Muni Stava prayers that Persons who are always engaged in thinking of the Lord as their husband, father, friend, or well-wisher are always worshipable by everyone. This spontaneous love for Krishna can be developed only by special mercy of Krishna or his pure devotee. This process of devotional service is sometimes called Pushti Marga. Pushti means nourishing, Marga means path. Such development of sentiment nourishes devotional service to the highest standard. Thus it is called the path of nourishment or Pushti Marga. And in Vallabh Sampradaya, which belongs to Vishnu Swami sect of Vaishnava religion, worships Krishna in this Pushti Marga. Generally, devotees in Gujarat worship Krishna under the heading of Pushti Marga. Yeah. So this is a conversation that Srila Prabhupada had with Makhan Lal in Bombay in 1974. So Makhan Lal asked, is Ragananda Bhakti also superior to Karma Yoga? Then Prabhupada said, Bhakti is the perfect stage, but that is not for ordinary men. Then Yashomati Nandana, he asked, if we are working for Krishna, Prabhupada, what is the difference between the Karma Yoga and or Bhakti? Because they also mean Krishna. Then Prabhupada said, now go on, do your duty and you'll understand gradually. Don't try to understand all in one day. So what this tells us is that it takes quite a bit of time, and that is circling back to what Prangu Prabhu just said, that having that intense mode is not easy. It takes quite a bit of effort and time.
Yes.
And yeah.
Okay, let's take down 1 minute for Mother Samagori Devi. She's a very special devotee. She actually ran the whole group in another Sangha. Want to see her son is so wonderful devotee. You want to take it down? Just yeah. So let us see. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam all goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Can you
for
see how
granting us-
wonderful this, your lovely son, you have raised him so well?
Prabhuji, he needs all of your blessings, Prabhuji.
He's wonderful. We prayed for him today because of you.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank
Please
you,
pray
Mother
for him.
Shamagori. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Okay.
Krishna.
Huh? Oh, Mother Samagori Devi, they want to see you. Let's see.
No,
How do I put a
this,
spot?
no, my phone doesn't allow the camera, so I will log in from the laptop. Then you
Okay.
can see.
Okay, you come back, please, on the laptop.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's the answer of Prabhupada, to have patience and continue the devotional service. Then Bhagavad asked, it will be revealed to us as we act. And Prabhupada said, yes. The more you become in service attitude, things will be revealed to you. Tasyati katiha he artha prakasante. So and it becomes manifest. And also in the verse that we are learning, Seva mukehi jitvados swayam eva spura. That answers. Yeah, so now that's with the end of both the chapters, now in the closed questions. So in all the questions, you also have the clue. The picture represents the clue, and you can answer the questions. So the first question is, where can the examples of spontaneous devotional service easily be seen? Yay, that's what Subala and Krishna are playing. Yes, the examples of spontaneous devotional service can be seen in Krishna's direct associates in Vrindavan. Second one, how has Srila Rupa Goswami defined Raganuga Bhakti? And the picture always gives you the clue.
Spontaneous attraction of Spontaneous attraction for something while completely absorbed in thoughts of it, hence desire and love. Devotional service executed with such spontaneous love is called loving.
Very good.
Yeah, Srila Rupa Goswami has defined the Raganga Bhakti that she is right. The third question, what are the two categories of Raganga Bhakti? What are the two categories of Raganga Bhakti? Yeah. That's right. Yeah. And then? Yeah, the devotional service under the heading of Raganga can be divided into two categories, sensual attraction and relationship. How does Srila Rupa Goswami describes Kubja's love for Krishna?
Prai. What is prai means? Almost. Like prai, gopis, almost like gopis.
Oh, you want the question for it's question number 4. How does Srila Rupa Goswami describes Kubja's love for Krishna? It's not Kama Rupa. The variation of it is Kama Praya, right? Which is
Praya.
that Kama Praya. So Kubja was a hunchbacked woman who's also wanted Krishna with the greatest love. But her desire for Krishna was almost mundane, and so her love cannot be compared to the love of the gopis. So
Is
her
that a
loving affection for Krishna is called Kama Praya, and almost like gopis' love for Krishna.
Is that a Kubja's photo?
And no, I just wanted to put this love for Krishna, so it's like because it's referred towards at the end that almost same as gopis, so I just felt a little pardon. So should I move on?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, so we're done with the chapter 15, then chapter 16. The first question, in which two places is spontaneous love of Krishna is parental relationship found? The picture is there. In which two places is spontaneous love of Krishna in parental relationship found? Vrindavan. Yeah, the spontaneous love of Krishna in the parental relationship is found both among the denizens of Dwarka, who belong to the dynasty of Rukmini, and among the inhabitants of Vrindavan. Question 2. At what stage is it possible to achieve eagerness to follow in the footsteps of the denizens of Raja? Which means disappearance of all material contamination. Okay. So who wants to answer this? Huh?
Nice question.
So the second one is anartha nivritti, disappearance of all material contamination. That's the stage. Right? So shall we move on to third? Shall we go on to third?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. What is the practice? That's what Krishna's gonna do.
I like it.
Since the pranayama, so much.
But he's right. Yeah, but he's right. Yeah, you can say that. I just want you to smile, Prabhu. That's right.
Let's smile on him. Very good. Okay, so Prakru sages are those who follow Siddha Pranali, which is Puro Vaishnavism. That's not the perfect process.
Maybe you can give details. They imitate. They do not purify their heart. They are not out of anarthas. And they don't have a genuine greed, but they want to imitate.
And then they also they manufacture their own way of devotional service. That's the external behavior. Question number 4. Why is the attempt to directly become the father of Krishna is not recommended? Yeah, that's a Mayavad philosophy. We have the whole description. I'll share the slides later. So, question number 5. English meaning of the words Pushtimarga.
Nourishing path. Nourishing path.
Yeah, I just put the whole paragraph just in case to give the context around it. Get tailor your answer. So with that, I finished and Hare Krishna and thank you for this opportunity.
Haribol, very nice, very nice. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
That's like Sri Ram.
Okay. There is Mother Shama Gauri Devi Dasi.
Just click on her profile.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, Krishna Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
There is she. Hare Krishna. Let us chant one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra for Mother Shama Gauri Devi Dasi. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Atharva Prabhu, can you say Hare Krishna from there? Microphone.
Hare Krishna.
No, microphone.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
He's a wonderful boy. We all love him.
I know you all love him.
And you love him too, that's why.
Yes, Prabhuji, we all love him. And thank you each and everyone for having Atharva there and, so nicely taking care of him. I know he learned so much there. Thank you so much.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you so much, Prahladananda Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I'm joining the book as soon as I finish the books.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Amrita Mataji. Is that?
She's not there.
She's not there.
She's little sick. She didn't come.
Okay.
Or she's online. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
She's online.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Purnachandra Prabhuji and Mahatma Prabhuji. Them right now.
Purnachandra Prabhu, she's saying Haribol to you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for taking care of Atharva.
No, we are doing the work this weekend. Thank you for sending. It gave a good mix for our class, our group here. He is a very good Mridanga player. He is teaching my wife also. Beats. And Kirtan with him, especially the Gaura Arti with him. It's kind of very nice.
Yes, I agree.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. So what are the questions? That's all. Wow.
You finished half an hour early.
Half an hour early. So what is the takeaway? Let's see. 17 and 18 and 19, that will be tomorrow. Are you ready for today? Yeah? You can start. You can start. We can
we discuss the open book question with your back?
go for it.
Open book
Yeah.
question. Yeah.
Let's do that open book question.
Yeah.
Where is the microphone? Someone.
Yeah.
Atharva Prabhu, you can read.
The first question is, discuss in your own words the practice of claiming members from all sections of Western countries in relation to principles established by Rupa Goswami. Sri Rupa Goswami. give reference to Shastric evidence and examples from the previous acharyas from Nectar of Devotion, chapter 5. Question. The second one is,
Now let's discuss few minutes.
yeah.
So what it could be?
Second one?
No.
Chapter 5.
Chapter 5.
Yeah.
Let's do chapter this 15, 16 and then we can go back. You have a open question on that?
No, there is no. The another one is on 12:30.
Oh, I see. So just only two.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it?
That's it.
they are essay questions.
These are an open book. I mean, you have to write.
It's good. It's very good. Otherwise, we'll be lazy.
So we want your feedback on that. What should we write?
On the chapter 5,
Chapter 5, yeah. It says in your practice of claiming members from all the sections of the Western countries in relation to principles established by
so chapter 5 is purity of devotional service. So if you look at chapter 5, it talks about, I'm looking at it, purity of devotional service. Every other process of self-realization, however, is dependent on external circumstances. Jnana Yoga requires peaceful, renounced disposition and highly developed intellect. Ashtanga Yoga demands many rigid prerequisites and only a sannyasi can even begin to adapt. Karma Kanda is also dependent on external circumstances. A yajna cannot be successful unless the time, place, and ingredients are flawless. Only Bhakti Yoga is completely pure. This is very nice. Very highlight should be on that. Only Bhakti Yoga is completely pure, free from any dependence on external prerequisites. We did talk about it. That is why Srila Prabhupada titles the 5th chapter, The Purity of Devotional Service. How Bhakti is superior to all other processes that introduced before Rupa Goswami came. Srila Rupa Goswami Pad mentioned several common prerequisites for self-realization, such as good birth, purity, proper execution of Varnashram Dharma. He explained how Bhakti is not dependent on them. Now, what about good birth? Can you say it? Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur had a no good birth, but he became the Namacharya. So you can bring some, and purity, major prerequisite or other process of self-realization, purity is not a factor in determining one's eligibility to perform devotional service. Even if a devotee falls down from the standard of purity, he need not undergo any separate process of purification, prashchitta. So that you can put that, such as karma and jnana. He can again take up devotional service immediately and reinstate it. One need not become purified before taking up devotional service. On the contrary, one becomes purified by taking up devotional service. Like according to, before Mahaprabhu came, Logan can never practice this. Yeah, even I cannot practice. You have to be born in a particular sect called Brahmana. Otherwise, nobody can practice that top form. But Mahaprabhu changed the whole system. He introduced bhakti, and Rupa Goswami Pad gave the definition of Uttama Bhakti. Means anybody can practice from anywhere, no pre-qualification. So this is a beautiful. And then Varnashram Dharma, you can also use those as an example.
Can I ask?
The question,
What question I
oh,
want to ask?
yes, Prabhu.
So, the question is asking about how we can from all sections. So, how the purity paragraph 40, because purity will later claim, meaning once somebody claims the souls, then afterwards it will be. So, how it relates.
Just like you are doing, you are accommodating anybody who walks in here. They don't have any qualification. You even going to send somebody to bring that guy, he's eating beef and everything. I mean, what qualification, what purity he has? Nothing, zero, you can say. Not only zero, maybe minus, negative. Because he has to pay for all this cow killing that he's eating. But as soon as he starts chanting, it nullifies. Literally, he is eligible to do pure bhakti. So that's where ISKCON fits in. And we can say this is the first time in the world history that actually we see that great devotees are coming out from no pre-qualification or prerequisite. Maybe some of the Indian, maybe, I doubt, but maybe had. But if you look at those majority people in Mahaprabhu's movement, where they came from, Charudas, he's a sweeper. But Kalidas, he's a Brahmana. He wanted to take the remnants from Charudas. Now this is never, even in India, they never had this ever. But Kalidas was greedy to take the mango remnants from Charudas. Charudas is a sweeper. But because he is doing bhakti, by taking the remnants, he is the Brahmana, Kalidas, purifying his consciousness. This is a bhakti, power of bhakti is very difficult. Beside Hare Krishna's, nobody understands. And they don't know how. Actually, people transform. They don't know how they're transforming. So definitely a special effect. What would you say, Prabhu?
The qualification is not required. But I understood your experience. Purity also was pre-qualification, not only birth, but purity was also. But then, how were they deciding earlier ages? This person is pure only by birth. So if we say, if we give example of, like if we give argument what Rupa Goswami gave on birth is high birth is not required, then again can we do this point of, because how person is pure? Earlier it was just birth by birth. They were saying it is a pure birth because you are a birth.
I think the attitude to serve, attitude to be nice to other person, it doesn't have anything to do with the birth. It's individual choice that we make. Prahlad Maharaj was born and raised in a demoniac family, you can say, who hated Vishnu or good quality. Hiranyakashipu literally ordered everybody to destroy all the Brahmanical culture, protection to the Brahmanas or good sanskar, impression that will develop by this. Those things are condemned by Hiranyakashipu. But Prahlad Maharaj was not affected by it. And he literally transformed all the demoniac children by his association. Now, some of the children probably had a demoniac quality because they all come from demon family. We don't know the individual each one, but Prahlad Maharaj, by his association, he literally changed. So bhakti has so much power. Of course, Prahlad Maharaj was catering also, Prabhu. Was not like it happens automatically. He catered. He literally nurtured. He cared for them. When Prabhupada cared for, like what is that Mother Malati's husband, Shamsundar Prabhu was carving Jagannath. So when he was carving Jagannath, he was also smoking. And he put the cigarette pack on top of the head of the Lord. Now, how do you explain that? But Prabhupada catered. He said, don't let anything comes in between you and Krishna.
It's amazing.
Isn't it?
You can say that.
Take the microphone.
Sorry. Saying that example is so amazing. How Prabhupada handled. And the stature of Prabhupada would have been very angry
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, in India, if somebody do that to in Jagannath Puri for Jagannath Kar,
Anywhere. 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 Prabhupada told him, how many cigarettes you have smoked? Says this man. Says, can you cut down one like that?
yes.
That's how he got rid of.
Yeah. He's still alive. He never smoke anymore. So this is very fascinating. So we are doing that, no? In ISKCON, you are doing that. Every temple is trying to do that. I mean, majority devotees are doing that.
Also, when we're talking about Prabhupada, there's so many striking. But one more thing I wanted to add. See what happens when we are looking for Krishna, we are reading the then we understand that everybody is saying, okay, how to end. Today also you mentioned, okay, everybody wants to go to Vrindavan. But imagine, Prabhupada was in Vrindavan. Prabhupada was in Radha Damodar. Best place in Vrindavan for Gaudiya Vaishnava. Because he's seeing the Samadhi. So from there, he came to US.
Yes.
And also New York in some odd place. Can't imagine that age. Because we all want to take a bhakti and go to Vrindavan. But the person who has everything and came here, so compassionate he is.
You can say another example also when the devotee got blessing from Radharaman temple, Western Bari, and he told Prabhupada that I got a blessing from the Pujari that next life I'll take birth in Vrindavan. And then Prabhupada says, that's nice. Now you go back and tell the Pujari that I want to bless you. Next life you take birth in the West and become a devotee and preach the glory. So it is not taking birth in Vrindavan is eligible to pure bhakti. It is the eagerness to serve. Taking birth in the West, I mean, majority of our movement preacher, early days, even till today, very big preacher in our movement, they're born in the West. Even Bhakti Charu Maharaj, where he got Krishna consciousness effect in the West, Germany. Suvag Maharaj, he came to study law in England. Even I'm talking about more current ISKCON gurus, Indian gurus, just 1 and 2. They also join here. And his father said, I sent my son to become a barrister from England. But he came as a, he said, beggar. He said he became a Hare Krishna. Did I send him to England to become a Hare Krishna? So it was very interesting. But then you can see he's distributing Krishna consciousness to thousands and thousands of people. So it's very interesting. This is a very healthy discussion. Thank you for bringing that point.
Purity as such is not required since Narad Muni converted even a hunter
Yeah.
to a devotee, and Haridas Thakur a prostitute into a devotee.
Yeah. So that's good. And we can, any other reflection? Atharva Prabhu, your mom is still there. Say something about today's session. What do you take away? Take the microphone, please. She knows that you're spending worthwhile time.
Yeah, mainly I just like the different kinds of rasas, like Kamru, that we normally don't talk about when we talk about 5 main rasas, Shantaras, Dasaras, Satyaras, or the Madhyaras. But then in this we see more than that chapter.
That's good. Thank you,
That's what I
Atharva.
was thinking in my head.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Prabhus and mothers. So we are looking forward to see you all tomorrow morning at 7 with chapter 17 and 18. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhubhyo vacha. Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo